time for the lightning round.
All right, folks, it's Tiger losing his luster, the designated driver bill, and Brittany's mad at MJ. Attorney Jack Gordon is our guest tonight from the firm Maney Gordon. How are you?
Great, Mark. Thanks for having me.
So
Appreciate it.
glad to have you. Have a good weekend.
Tremendous, sir.
We got a lot going on. First, Tiger. He's now 0 for 29 while trailing in majors. Now, granted, he's got all the championships. He's never come back, though. Only those that the ones that he's won, he's had the lead or a share of it on Sunday. They're already coming out of the woodwork saying maybe Tiger's not as good as we thought he was. You believe me in that?
You know, that's the real problem when you're as good at something as Tiger is at golf. I got to figure the average guy is going to be pretty happy with a second-place finish at the U.S. Open after all these other Masters under his belt.
I took a 33rd.
Yeah. It kind of reminds me of Peyton Manning, who says, you know, he just can't win the Super Bowl, can't get over the edge, and finally he wins one, and now he's obviously the great quarterback.
Do you think it's going to get harder on him, though, because our expectations are so high for him? If he doesn't win everything, at least
I mean, Nicklaus finished, what, second 13 times in majors? I mean, so that's some good company to be in as he chases that number 18 overall majors record. So, I mean, the guy shot a 72 in the toughest golf tournament in the history of the planet. He's
and
fine.
the reality is he was in the hunt right until the very end. And that's the key. That's what you want to do. Posture yourself to be able to put it down.
And the thing is, he made that shot on 18, that was 9 iron.
Yeah, I know.
It was still a great shot. He just was a little bit in the rough. It didn't stick, and it's still a great shot.
Governor Chris today signed the designated driver bill, so bars in Florida can no longer force someone to buy alcohol if they're there at the bar, if they're a designated driver. Spawns from a case in Pinellas Park. I was drinking Cokes, and the bartender said, nope, you got to drink something, forced him to do it. Obviously, it sounds like a great rule. Question to you is, as an attorney, are they going to have a hard time enforcing something like this?
Absolutely not. Great job, Governor Chris. The reality is we don't want to encourage drinking. We don't want to promote people getting behind the wheel after having a couple of cocktails. The key in Pinellas Park was the owner was a little upset because he wasn't making any money. The customer was continuing to receive Cokes free of charge. We'll let the business owner charge a couple bucks for extra Coke or charge some type of cover charge, but we don't want to promote drinking and driving.
No. Now, aren't we going to have an issue, though, where you're telling a business because businesses can refuse to serve somebody, but whether it's a matter of forcing them to take something, that's where it becomes different, right?
And you're really pointing to something that's been argued for the better part of a couple hundred years, constitutional rights. What rights does a business owner have? Most of the time, a business owner can do whatever it is he wants to do as long as he's not infringing upon the fundamental rights of others. Certainly, a business owner has the right to refuse service to a guy who's simply not polite or courteous, but he can't refuse service to someone by virtue of age, race, national origin, things of this nature.
Just hope we don't have Cokes now for $15 every month. Understood. All right, before we go, have you seen MJ's Billboards, the morning host of 93.3? They've been up for quite some time. Well, apparently it made it to the internet, and Brittany has seen them. And Brittany's not very happy. There's a few humorous tags on them. Shock therapy is one. Another one says total nut jobs. She's mad. She wants them removed. She's a public figure, so...
She just doesn't have a sense of humor. Because that's the big thing.
She doesn't have a lot these days.
I mean, she's going to be careful, too, because obviously, you know, they're dealing with Clear Channel Communications, and a lot of her success when she eventually starts doing albums again is about those stations playing her songs.
And I think there's really two issues that are of interest. One is whether or not she has a proprietary interest in her face, in her image. And if Clear Channel's making a buck off her being on those billboards, well, she wants a piece of the action. The other issue is whether or not, by virtue of the captions, where they say, nuts, should she be committed, are they in fact slandering her psychological reputation?
Or play on words.
I would suggest they're being perhaps more realistic than anything else.
Wow. I would say so. Thanks for coming by, Jack. We appreciate it.
Really appreciate it.
I was big today on this thing.
I apologize. Cut into your gig, man.
One line you had was unbelievable.
At ManeyGordon.com if you want to find Jack. We saved plenty of time for Chip, though, because he's next with this.